exclusively on ESPN Plus. UFC 313, Saturday. Reigning light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira defends his title against number one contender Magomed Ankalaev, and an explosive lightweight bout between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev. UFC 313, Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Buy it on ESPNPlus.com/PPV.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
Chicago to your speakers.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast. You know, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, go ahead, shoot us a quick take, 219-413-9405. And of course, we'll play your take back on our next episode. And then shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So basketball season is in full effect right now. So go ahead, buy those tickets, create that account, use that promo code, save yourself some money. Now, speaking of basketball season, it's been 2 juggernauts in the Eastern Conference right now, and people are trying to figure out who is going to dominate, who come playoffs and all of that. But I know playoffs is still some ways away. But it's kind of big news, and maybe this will help put some things into perspective about which team we really need to be worried about come playoff time. But I'm going to just say this. So the Celtics, they made history the other night. You know, the Boston Celtics, solid team, balling out, doing their thing. They're dealing with some injuries, but still second in the Eastern Conference, so it's nothing to really make a big deal out of. They're balling. It made history. Derek White, crazy. Can't even believe I'm even saying this. Derek White and Peyton Pritchard became the first 2 Celtics to combine for 40-point nights. They combined for 84 points total. Peyton Pritchard dropped 43 points, 10 rebounds, made 10 3-pointers. Man, damn it, crazy. Derek White went absolutely crazy too. 41 points, made 10 3-pointers. And yeah, they're the only Celtics to score 40 points each in a single game. Now, you know, when I first seen this, I'm like, okay, now anybody in their right mind who tells me, oh, well, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown carried the Celtics to the finals and they're going to carry the Celtics to another finals trip. Slow your roll, bro. Let me tell you right now, neither of them guys is carrying anybody because this team is just clearly way too stacked for anybody to be getting carried. I mean, you got about 4 or 5 guys on this team who can score 20 points at any given night. Without a doubt. I mean, you got Porzingis. When he's healthy, he's a wreck. Horford, he can get you 20 plus. It's Drew Holiday, Derek White, and then obviously Pritchard too can get you 20 plus points anytime. So it's like these guys, man, it's insane how stacked this Celtics team is. So for me personally, when I see this type of stuff and I see these stats and I see them play and they're beating teams by 30 and 35, 25, whatever, or just playing sloppy, then all of a sudden they turn it on and end up winning ball games. To me, I'm like, no matter how good the Cavaliers look, they can win 12 straight games, 13, 14, 15 straight games in a row, 16 of their last 17 games they've won. It does not matter because they're still not going to be able to beat the Boston Celtics in general. Like, I mean, overall, the Celtics are just a solid team. And right now, when I'm thinking about, okay, well, can they beat the Celtics? The Cavs, no, they can't. They're put together, but Celtics is probably one of the most complete teams in basketball right now. And again, they've been dealing with injuries, so not everybody is noticing that right now. That's why the Cavs is getting so much hype about what they're doing. Great win streak. They're playing good basketball. Well-deserved hype, as they should be getting hyped right now. But when you talk about the way these teams is playing right now and the complete package, the Celtics have that. They play defense. They rebound. They have a deep bench. They got championship experience. They got star power. They literally have all the aspects you could want in a team. Anything you say, oh, well, this team is just missing one little piece, the Celtics got it. So, yeah, the Cavs, I get it, put together well. They nice. And I think adding DeAndre Hunter is a huge plus for the Cleveland Cavaliers. DeAndre Hunter is probably going to help the Cavs maybe even get to the finals or the conference finals, but he's definitely going to help them in the long run because it diversifies the way that the Cavs can play. I mean, Hunter can guard 1 through 5. He can shoot, he can score, he can pass. He does it all, and he works hard when he's out there on the floor. So obviously this is a huge help. But comparing it to the Celtics, it's not a comparison right now. It's not a comparison because the Celtics are hurt and they're still whopping teams by 30 points. Celtics are hurt. Porzingis is down. Drew Holiday is down. And this is where it gets scary because the only thing it's one thing that concerns me about the Celtics. The only thing that concerns me about the Celtics and the way they play right now is they literally live and die by the 3-ball. Either they're going to beat you by 30 points because they don't miss any of their 3-pointers, or they're going to hang around and keep themselves above water, and then late game, they're going to turn it on and end up finding a way to close out the game. But this team, other than that, we ain't seen them healthy yet. We still ain't seen them at full strength. So come playoffs in a couple of weeks and all of that, like, man, they're gonna look like a different team. So right now they don't have the hype. They're kind of sitting under the radar. Not many people are talking about them looking like a dangerous team, but we know they're champions and we know they still have the same exact team, brought back most of the guys, and it's gonna get nasty. So I mean, hey, Cavs is doing it big. I know Pacers are also doing it big right now. A lot of guys in the East are doing their thing, and I still believe that the Eastern Conference is up for grabs, and anybody can possibly take the throne in the East and also in the West, but it's gonna depend on matchup. And Celtics, you cannot count them out by any means. You cannot count them out, man, because when you got two guys who are not even your star players putting up 40+ points, Pritchard and Derek White, are you kidding me? That's scary. That's a scary sight. I'll leave it at that. Other than that, though, look, man, so we got some news. But before we jump into the news, I'll go ahead and let you know, man. Leave us a quick take on the voicemail line, 219-413-9405. And, of course, we'll play your take back on the next episode. I don't think there was any other voicemails that was left from last episode, which is cool, but just want to always throw that out there. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We got some news coming up, and it's a lot of news because the NFL has been going crazy this past week. Man, I gave y'all updates earlier in the week, and man, it's almost a lot of it is irrelevant at this point. So stay tuned for the news, and we'll be right back. It's halftime.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day. And that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Employee Appreciation Day is March 7th, and a Starbucks card is the perfect way to say, thanks for all you do. Have a smaller team? You can send up to 10 e-gifts in one transaction from the Starbucks app or online at starbucks.com/gift. Or you can also send physical or digital cards in bulk at starbuckscardb2b.com. No matter your team's size or location, Starbucks has got you covered.
All right, man, so let's jump into it. We got some news for the run here. And starting off, man, with the LA Chargers and the NFL. Let's go to the NFL first. So the LA Chargers, they're releasing their edge rusher, Joey Bosa. Now, this happened to be a bomb. I mean, not many people expected the Chargers to really drop them, but the Bosa family is hoping that he signs with the 49ers to play with his brother, Nick Bosa, who's also one of the best edge rushers in the game, but they're putting out videos and stuff like, wouldn't it be nice? And yeah, it would be nice, but I mean, hey, people trying to get paid. 49ers, they made some changes in their whole team as well. That front office is busy, so we never know. We'll see. Anyway, wide receiver Tyler Lockett has been released from the Seattle Seahawks after playing multiple seasons with the team. Philadelphia Eagles, they're making changes. They're going to release the 6-time All-Pro defensive back Darius Slay in hopes of freeing up some cap space. However, the Eagles, they did just make Saquon Barkley the highest paid running back in NFL history. So he recently just signed a 2-year, $41 million deal with the Eagles, and this deal is history with the Eagles, and this 1,000% deserves after the season Saquon Barkley had with the Philadelphia Eagles going to the Super Bowl and all of that stuff there. Now, defensive end for the Las Vegas Raiders, Max Crosby, he signed a huge deal with the Raiders, a 3-year, $106 million extension with $91 million guaranteed. And he's now one of the highest paid defenders in the NFL. And you could also make the assumption that he's probably going to spend the rest of his career in Las Vegas. I mean, he's said it multiple times that he loves it. And despite all the trade rumors and stuff that was going around earlier when the season was going, he still stood tall on Raider Nation. He said he don't want to go nowhere. He want to be with the Raiders. So, I mean, hey, I'm happy for him. He's getting paid. But personally, I still think you give it maybe 3 more years, he's going to be ready to go. Maybe even one season, he's going to be ready to go because the Raiders, they're not good right now. Unless they get a quarterback and start winning some games, I think people are going to begin to get very, very upset and eventually be like, you know what, just get me out of here. Get me to a different team. That seems to be a trend now as guys want to get the bag, they get paid, they stay with the team that get paid, and then now they have the power to be like, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. Someone else come get me. And then maybe they go to a better situation, maybe they go to a worse situation. But I've noticed this a couple times. Devontae Adams was the latest victim, going to the Jets, forcing himself over there. Kirk Cousins, Falcons trying to get rid of him and all of that stuff. And they eventually just had to say, we're just going to take it to the chin. You see Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson paid him all that money. Now he's getting out of there. So, you know, it's a weird situation, but I'm happy to notice that a lot. Now the Atlanta Falcons, speaking of them, the center Drew Dalman, he's rumored to hit free agency and leave the Falcons this summer. No reports on where exactly he's going to go, but as of now, it's some rumors that he probably will be leaving Atlanta at some point in this offseason. And then also for some trades in the NFL, it's a lot going on with the trades, but the Seattle Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf has requested a trade. And as of now, it's no solidified teams of where he's going or anything like that, but apparently the Seahawks, they're looking for a 1st and a 3rd round pick for DK Metcalf. Now, DK Metcalf is, I guess you could say, on the back end of his career or approaching the back end of his career, but really just wants to win. And I understand it because Seahawks, they've been struggling for the past few years. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars are also in the mix. This trade just happened like right before I recorded, but they traded wide receiver Christian Kirk for a 7th round draft pick. And I mean, this is what I've been saying. So they traded him to the Texans. I never clarified that. Jaguars traded with the Texans. Texans gave up a 7th round draft pick, and they also received Christian Kirk, who's a wide receiver. And as I mentioned, man, the draft picks are so valuable now. You get anybody, you throw them a draft pick. And I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen it work this well in the past. Maybe teams weren't as willing to give away draft picks as they are now. I don't know, but I mean, I'm definitely seeing some sort of shift where draft picks are becoming the thing where teams are loving it. Teams are trying to either rebuild through the draft or they want to sit on the picks and then maybe trade it somewhere else. But within the past decade, we've seen a lot of people get traded for picks. We've seen star players get traded for 6th round, 3rd round, 5th round picks. And I don't know if teams were that willing to do it over the past decade or the last decade, but now we definitely see that change. Which is crazy. But the Chiefs, here we go again. They traded 4-time Super Bowl champion Joey Thurney, the guard, to the Chicago Bears. And that's a huge trade there. I mean, the Bears land a big guard, and the Chiefs, they traded him for a draft pick, of course. Now, the Chicago Bears, they also made another move. They signed former Dolphins tight end Durham Smith to a 1-year deal. And now this is supposed to be a really good pickup because it's going to help the Chicago Bears get that blocking tight end. And I know a lot of people are wondering, like, well, why the hell would the Bears sign a tight end when they got Cole Kmet? Cole Kmet is good, but you want to limit the reps and you want to be able to alternate your tight end, put another tight end in there that can block and also that can catch. So bringing in a veteran like Durham Smith, definitely love that for the Chicago Bears. That's a great move. And then Cincinnati Bengals, all-pro defensive end, Trey Hendrickson has also requested a trade. Now, I'm not sure where he'll go. We still don't know that information of which team will land a spot with Trey Hendrickson, but I mean, this is another elite defensive end in the NFL. So, I mean, hey, whoever lands him, it will be huge. It will be huge. That's all I can say. Now, going to the NBA, just to kind of fill you in on who's hot, who's not. The Cavaliers, they are still rolling, man. They are balling 12 straight games. I think 16 wins in their last 17 games total. Man, they've been balling. They've been kicking butt. They also beat the Miami Heat. It was a close game. They almost lost it, but I mean, hey, somebody wore a shoe size that was just a little too big to keep them in bounds. So, bucket did not count. Cavaliers ended up winning. It was crazy. Other than that, though, Celtics, they're on a 2-game winning streak right now. Won 8 of their last 10. And let's see here. Who else we got in the Western Conference? As I mentioned, the Los Angeles Lakers still been rolling. They play the Knicks tonight, so they'll try and look for an 8-game win streak if they beat the Knicks. But other than that, they still been pretty solid as well. And then, I got to make a generalization here. And I think it's time. I've kind of avoided this. I don't really like talking about people when they are hurt. I feel like, when teams and players get hurt, that's just like kind of a bogus time to dwell on guys. But, aside from me not wanting to talk about people when they are hurt, you damn it. Hey, I'm just on the side. You can't wait too long, and you can't wait all day for guys to get healthy if you're in the NBA and you're trying to rebuild. So the 76ers, man, look, you got to trade Joel Embiid. 76ers, please. And hear me out, because Embiid is 2 steps above Ben Simmons right now from the way I see it. And I know a lot of 76ers fans is going to be like, okay, well, hey, look, man, Embiid, when he's healthy, he's this, he's that, he's this, he can play this, he can do that, and all of this. But what good is having such an individual talent if he's never on the floor? Please tell me, somebody explain this to me. What is the point of having such a tremendous talent if he's never going to be able to step on the floor? Because right now, in the trend that I see Joel Embiid, it reminds me of Ben Simmons from 6 years ago. Oh, yeah, he when he's good, when he's playing, he's good. He can do this, he can do that. He's still going to be good. He's this age. Look, let me tell you something, man. Embiid been in the league for over 10 years now. Now won conference finals. Embiid been in the league for over 10 years now. Still missing plenty of games. Don't forget, his first 2 years in the season, he didn't even play. He played 11 seasons so far. He didn't start into that second season. Embiid has missed 47% of his regular season games of his career right now. And he's in the last 6 seasons that he's had, he's only played over 51 games twice. So you can sit here and tell me Embiid is so good and he's so valuable and he does this when he's healthy, but he's not playing. He's not good at all because he's not playing right now. And if you're the 76ers, why are you letting this hinder you from progression? You got stars over there. You got talent over there. Embiid is a great player, but you cannot hinder your franchise because guys are not healthy enough to build around. It's time to trade him while he still has value. And let him be somebody else's problem, because when his value is high, you can still get some good pieces in return for Joel Embiid. But you give it 1 to 2 more seasons and everybody's going to start blinking an eye and they're going to start looking at you funny when you say, hey, we want to trade for Joel Embiid. They're going to say, no, this dude has played 51 games twice in the past 6 seasons. I don't want him on my team. I don't want him. So now you put Maxey in a bad situation because this is an incredible guard. Maxey, man, I love Tyrese Maxey. But you put him in a weird situation because he's a guy where you want to keep him in your franchise. You want to keep a Tyrese Maxey in your franchise. This is an incredible guard worth investing in. And this is ultimately someone you could potentially build a franchise with. With the talent that Maxey has, you can 1,000% build a franchise around him. He averages 26 so far. The 76ers is sorry, but he's still averaging 26 and 6 assists, shooting over 40%. He's reliable in health. He's played 70 games last year. He's on pace for playing another 70 games this year. And maybe he won't, maybe he will because they're not seeing the playoffs. Who knows? But you surround Maxey with some shooters, and you might see a different Philadelphia 76ers team. Because right now, these guys can't shoot. They're the worst shooting team in the East, one of the worst in the NBA, bottom 5 when you look at percentages. So it's like, bro, what are you really doing? You want to wait for Joel Embiid to get healthy, but you continue to wait on, and nothing good is going to come from it. You're going to continue to lose. You're going to be in the bottom half of the NBA. You're not going to be relevant. You're going to continue to be a laughingstock if you wait on Joel Embiid. Just look at the Chicago Bulls. They tried to wait. Yeah, they tried to wait on Lonzo Ball to get healthy after his injury, and look what they did. They wasted the talent of Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan when they had them for multiple years, but just failed to build around them and change the structure of the team. So you have to go ahead and move forward. And all that waiting stuff, waiting on your star to get healthy, you got to let that go, man. You got to let that go. Because right now they have no direction. The 76ers have absolutely no direction because you don't know what you want to do. You don't know if you want to try and bring in pieces to help out Maxey or pay other guys because they can be helpful, or if you want to save it for Joel Embiid. You're still making moves based on what you had and not what you currently have. So you gotta change some things around, man. And Elton Brand, Daryl Morey, y'all should be a damn shame to yourselves, man. Y'all should be ashamed. You gotta move on from Joel Embiid. I know what kind of talent he is, and it sounds like it's something crazy, and it sounds like an impulsive decision, but that's really not that impulsive when your guy is not healthy. You have talent, and you can bring talent over there. Get some draft picks. Bring in some more role players. Bring in some shooters. Bring in somebody and multiple people that's gonna help your team become complete. Because right now it's not. It's a joke right now. It's a joke, man. And, you know, it's wild. But I'll leave it at that, man. As far as Embiid and all of them and what they're doing over there, I know he's supposedly going to get his surgery, which would be helpful. I think that's the biggest focus right now. Embiid just has to be healthy. We need Embiid healthy because I love watching him play basketball. And when he is healthy, he's one of the best centers in the league. But the problem just so happens to be that he's not healthy. So he's never really showing that he's the best center in the league because he's not healthy. So he's got to come back healthy. He's got to get healthy. And if not, man, this is the time for the 76ers to kind of make a move. A lot of other teams are at the crossroads right now and trying to figure out what they want to do with their players and with their guys. I mean, you better get on the phone with the Phoenix Suns or something and see what they want to do with Kevin Durant and the pieces they got over there. But a lot of teams is moving pieces right now. And a lot of teams is trying to trade. I know LaMelo, this is a rumor, so we don't know if it's 100% true or not. But LaMelo is apparently unhappy over there in Charlotte. And it's just too much talent in the NFL or in the NBA right now for guys to still have these incomplete teams and ultimately to be waiting on your star player to just be healthy all of a sudden, especially when he has not been healthy consistently. So I can't stand behind it. They got to get something going with the 76ers. But other than that, look, man, that's all I got for you today. So I appreciate you kicking it, hanging with me. Of course, you know, leave a voicemail. Leave a quick take on a voicemail line, 219-413-9405. And, you know, we'll play your take back on the next episode. And then I'm going to leave you with a positive note, too. And for the positive note, I'm going to just leave you with this, man. Just be grateful for the things that you have. I know we all want more. I know we all, you know, aspire to have more and get more, whatever it is that you're chasing. But be grateful for the things that you have, because it works in multiple situations. Maybe it's like, oh man, I gotta pay rent again, whatever the case is. But at least you got somewhere to live. Damn, I gotta pay gas and I ain't got no money. At least you got a car to get you to and from work. Damn, I gotta go to work. At least you got a job, bro. So, you know, just be grateful for the things that you have. And then, of course, it works in abundance as well. So if you got a bunch of things and you're like, man, I need more. I need $70,000. So at least you got 50. I need 90,000. At least you got 12. Like, you know, so just be grateful for the things that you have. Other than that, man, that's all I got for you. I appreciate you for kicking it. Send this to a cousin, a brother, an aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, coworker, friend, family member, anyone you know who enjoys sports. I promise you they will not mind that you sent this to them. Worst case, they just not gonna listen. Follow us on Instagram at The Run Podcast, TikTok at The Run Podcast, YouTube at The Run Podcast. Check out the YouTube videos. And then other than that, though, man, we'll be back later on next week. And so on and so on and so on.